Hello, mighty fine listener. Welcome to another episode of The Working Hour. This is a WHMS radio style podcast. This is Mike, and alongside me is my best friend and co-host, Shane. Go ahead and say hi there, Shane.
Hi, it's me, Shane.
If you're new here to the program, what we do is we're going to go through one album, track by track, give you an analysis, our thoughts, feelings, and an overall rating, 1 through 10, of our thoughts on said album. And on this week's episode, you already know because you can read, I'm assuming.
You ought to know.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're going to be doing the third studio album by Canadian-American singer Alanis Morissette, which is Jagged Little Pill. It was released June 13th, 1995. I also seen it released June 9th of 1995. So we're just going to say June of 1995 for what it's worth. The producer on the album, which he plays a big role in the album, is Glenn Ballard. The genre is listed as alternative rock and post-grunge, which holds up to what you were talking about before we even started, about how a couple of the tracks sounded very grungy to you. There's 6 singles. You Ought to Know, single number 1. You Learn, single number 2. Hand in My Pocket, single number 3. Ironic, single number 4. Head Over Feet, number 5, and All I Really Want, number 6. So Jagged Little Pill received positive reviews, and I've always, literally I was listening to a radio show here, sports show in Columbus, and they, just said Jagged Little Pill. Like, somebody said Jagged, and they were like, Jagged Little Pill. Alanis Morissette. It's an iconic, even the name of it, Jagged Little Pill, it's kind of catchy, I think, for me, anyways. That's how I feel about it. So, yeah, overall, it got positive reviews. It received 9 Grammy Award nominations, and it won 5 of those 9. It won Album of the Year. She was also, Alanis Morissette at this time, was the youngest artist to win the award. Best Rock Album, Best Female Rock Vocal Performance with You Ought to Know, Best Rock Song, You Ought to Know, and Best Long Form Music Video. The album produced a combined sales of 33 million copies worldwide.
Damn.
So Jagged Little Pill, that kind of makes it one of the better selling albums of all time. It has been included on several all-time lists such as those of Apple Music, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Rolling Stone magazine. In November of 2013, I thought this was pretty neat. I did not know this. There was a theater adaptation of Jagged Little Pill. Tom Kitt was attached
Tom
to
York.
arrange. No, I have his Tom Kitt.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on.
So Tom Kitt, who is Tom York? Why is that?
Radiohead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that name is familiar. But anyways, Tom Kitt was the one to arrange the orchestrations. In May 2017, it was announced that the stage adaptation would receive its worldwide premiere in May of 2018, 23 years after Jagged Little Pill was released. Jagged Little Pill, the performance, the theater version, it had a limited run performance opening May of 2018 and then closing July of 2018. But still, I think this is one of the first albums we've done that we've noted that there's a theater performance. So that being said, on the intro, do you have anything to add to that?
Fuck, we should have waited, man.
Why's that?
Oh, no, never mind. We shouldn't have. 95, I was going to say, oh, yeah, if we would have waited a little bit, we could have caught the 30-year anniversary. No, 31 years, actually. So, no.
Tom, just I'm wearing a Pink Floyd Animals shirt. Not that it matters, because today is only, we're going to tell you a little secret. Today's January 21st. Mm-hmm. Animals came out, and I'm like, you're like, 50 year?
49.
Yeah,
49.
So, anyways.
Also, I don't know, Jagged Little Pill, do you think it's because it's a vowel followed up by 2 repeating letters? Is that why it rolls off the tongue well? Or do you think it's just the idea of a jagged little pill?
I think it's a jagged little pill. Because that line, it's mentioned later on.
Sure.
And I also have a side note that goes with Jagged Little Pill, which makes me very curious. But, and we'll get to it, it's kind of I read this one place and I couldn't really find hard evidence to back what I'm saying. So we're just kind of take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, I don't really have too much else to add. I'm looking, I'm thinking of Alanis Morissette, and here, I got it pulled up. Yeah, a lot of her a lot of like her biggest hits are off of this. She has other stuff too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but no, I
like,
feel like she's known for
yo, this fucking
the
album.
third studio album.
It's like there's a reason this album sold as well as
As
it
they
did.
say,
Boy.
third time's a charm.
So, yeah, no. Aside of that, I got like some other stuff to add in, but I have it in my notes, so we'll get to it.
Okay. All right. Well, with all that ado, guys, we're going to get into track number 1. Like I said, track by track breakdown. And we're going to start out with All I Really Want, track number 1. I have the runtime as 4 minutes, 45 seconds. I thought this was an excellent intro track. It's very fun and playful, but pretty serious and meaningful, which I think this album is playful at times, but it is also like very serious in the lyrics. The writing holds a lot of work. A lot of weight, I guess I should say, not word. Intro features a distorted guitar and harmonica notes and some percussion from a drum machine, which drum machine is commonly used on this album.
Yeah.
I like that opening verse. Do I stress you out? My sweater is on backwards and inside out, and all you say is, how appropriate. So I like that. Her delivery of how appropriate is just really good, and it creates that original sound. Like, I know of Alanis Morissette, but this was probably my first real listen to this, going through the just the album reviews, reviewing the music as I'm writing my notes I'm telling you guys now. But yeah, I like that. And then the first chorus, and all I really want is some patience, a way to calm the angry voice, and all I really want is deliverance. I like it. It's solid delivery. It's solid on its delivery as well, and it's kind of hammered away throughout the song with subtle changes as the song goes on to the chorus of that. The way the music comes together too is solid. It kind of swells with her like amplified vocals. The verse that follows that, I'm like Estella. I like to reel it in and then spit it out. I'm frustrated by your apathy. So Morissette here references Estella, the cold and emotionally distant character from Charles Dickens' novel Great Expectations. I haven't read it, so if you're familiar, you can probably elaborate on that. I don't have anything else to add to it other than I thought that was kind of neat that she mentioned that. This is a solid song. It's solid enough. I like it. It's not something I'd give a crazy high score, and I didn't give a crazy high score. I might be a little low on it because I genuinely really do like this album. But it kind of shows her vocals like all over the place where she's kind of talking, singing. It gives that uniqueness. We were talking about it earlier, just her voice is... There's not another Alanis Morissette, and I don't think there ever really will be. And sometimes it's like... I don't know.
It sounds like she has an accent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Canadian.
Yeah. Okay.
She's like a Canadian goose.
Uh-huh.
But no, that could be some of it.
I want to see South Park Canadian and Alanis Morissette.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, this was... I was aware, not that I wasn't aware of how talented she is, but this one kind of like... The whole album was kind of... This was the first time I ever listened to it all the way through. So this one was totally new to me. Besides like the common radio played tracks, which we'll get into because, like I said, there's 6 singles off of this. But yeah, I didn't give this a crazy high score. I gave it right around... I consider anything above a 7. If you listen to the pod before, you know this. Anything above a 7 is something that I could listen to any day and get into. This one is knocking on the door. I gave it a 6.8.
Okay. We're close. So I got the song opens like pretty quick with like a second of harmonica followed by some kind of funky electric guitar. Then a drum beat. Not long after, Alanis comes in with her vocals. And they're kind of sarcastic and a little passive aggressive. Do I stress you out? My sweater is on backwards and inside out. And you say, how appropriate. I do like the way she delivers how appropriate.
How appropriate.
How appropriate. The long exaggerated delivery of how and the short blunt delivery of appropriate. The chorus, and all I really want is some patience, a way to calm the angry voice, and all I really want is deliverance.
Yeah, I didn't elaborate that. That was on my notes, but I was like, I can't remember how she pronounced it, so I'm just gonna leave that alone.
It's funny because in that interview I was telling you about with Howard Stern, with You Ought to Know, she was like, it's not really that angry of a song. I didn't go into it being angry, but I just kind of tapped into like that sort of like darker voice in my head. So like parallels, especially with this being the song that comes before You Ought to Know.
Yeah.
But she closes out the chorus with another exaggerated ah. She is like extremely emotive, coming off as like pissed and kind of exacerbated too. At 2:25, the vocals break and there's some brief like harmonica before the bridge where she gets even more emotive and angry, where she's like, enough about me, let's talk about you for a minute.
Let's talk about you
for a minute. Let's talk about enough about you, let's talk about life for a while. The vocals do some layering here, with Alanis having a softer delivery beneath. The next verse has the line, "Why are you so petrified of silence? Here, can you handle this?" with like a brief, like full stop. A couple seconds of silence. Towards the end of the song, her vocals begin to swell and go higher pitched and aggressive before her vocals become more soft and calm as the song like winds down. The song has like an underlying playfulness to it, kind of like to offset its it offsets its anger pretty well. I really enjoy it. While it's not like my favorite off the album by any means, I still enjoyed it. I don't know if I don't think this will make my like songs, but like
it didn't for me.
But it's close.
As an album, I loved it in its entirety. But yeah, this is
it has its place.
Let's get to it.
I gave this a 6.9.
Okay.
Out of 10. So
yeah, we're right there.
We're close. Yeah. I knew it was close, but I'm like, it's not cracking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
On to track number 2, we have another single. Probably like the single.
This was the lead single, yes. Yeah. This was the moneymaker for sure.
You Ought to Know. Coming in at 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Fun side note real quick. This was like one of the first songs I remember hearing and thinking like, whoa, like music's kind of good actually. Holy, what is this? But I mean, then again, I had similar feelings about Who Let the Dogs Out at that age. So, I mean,
you ain't wrong. Ain't much changed.
Yeah. This song also played during the end credits of 2003's Darkness Falls. And that was like one of the places I heard it. I'm like, ooh, all right, I like this. Whatever this is, I like this. Song starts off quiet with soft vocals and a light drum beat. I want you to know that I'm happy for you. This is before the bass, guitar, the beat, and Alanis Morissette's vocals really start to pick up before becoming like more aggressive at 18 seconds. An older version of Me, Is She Perverted Like Me, Would She Go Down on You in a Theater? At 37 seconds, it picks up even more. Her vocals become slightly like growly, almost like she's cursing you. And every time you speak her name, does she know how you told me you'd hold me until you died? Until you died, but you're still alive. 54 seconds, the chorus hits, and Alanis starts to belt it out. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you made when you went away. And then the you ought to know. I like her delivery of you, kind of peaks a little bit on the chorus. I like it. It's good. The emotion in her voice only grows as the song starts to go on. Coming off the second chorus, the music quiets with a musical break. With a musical breakdown, it actually gets a little spacey with some vocalization from Alanis that swells before the drums start to thump and the vocals come back. And I'm not gonna fade as soon as you close your eyes, and you know it. This leads right into the big final chorus of the song as some very scratchy metallic guitar comes in. The song ends with You Ought to Know, and no music behind them, so that it just really pops, puts the emphasis on it, you know what I mean? A really solid sense of escalation in the song. It's an absolute classic of a scorned woman. Don't piss off Alanis. She will fucking diss you up good. So I give it an 8.8 out of 10. And I can't help but wonder, it's like, she says, no, I'm not angry. I wasn't mad when I made that. I'm like, I feel like you might always be just a little angry.
I feel like she channeled it, but I feel like once you're over a relationship, which this is clearly about, you're not as mad as you were in the moment, but you can still like go back to, man, I was fucking
I can't
livid in the moment.
believe this.
Another version of me.
Yeah, but yeah, an 8.8 out of 10.
Nice. I'm a little lower than that. This was the lead single. The song was a commercial success, reaching the top 10 in 3 countries and the top 40 in 6 other countries. Despite much speculation concerning whom the song is about, Alanis Morissette has never disclosed a person's identity and has never indicated an intention to do so. I have a quote here from Alanis herself. Well, I've never talked about who my songs were about, and I won't, because when I write them, they're written for the sake of personal expression. So with all due respect to whoever may see themselves in my song, and it happens all the time, I never really comment on it because I write these songs for myself, not other people. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of the song You're So Vain by, is it Carly Simon? Who
Something
sings
like that.
Yeah, anyways. She, like, has came out and said who that song was about. I remember, like, seeing it back in the day, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, like, leaving it open for speculation is kind of nice. Overall, the song is excellent. It's no secret how like raw and cutthroat it is with the writing, the lyrics, the directness of it, the serious, and they hold a lot of emotion. Like you said, she's saying that she didn't write it from, in a mindset of anger, but I think it's so easy to just go back to that and kind of latch on to those feelings. And it makes such a raw song, and it's pretty simple musically, guitar, bass, with simple drumming, but the drumming definitely picks up at times to flow with the anger and aggression from Alanis' vocals. I did want to point out, though, the bass being pretty energetic. Flea played the bass from Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was featured on this track. So the bass line is pretty good, and I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, and then I did once I actually read that, and it's good. But I don't think anything could outshine Alanis' vocals on this. And like you said, the last verse where everything's kind of quiet, and you, I don't know, and it just closes the track with that. It's very good. I'm a little lower than you on this one, but I respect the hell out of it and its contribution to pop culture, with artists like Britney Spears, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Demi Lovato performing it. I want to say Alanis with Taylor Swift and Alanis with Demi Lovato, they performed it together. But I want to say Britney Spears and Beyonce have like covered it in
Sorry,
live.
who did you say?
Britney Spears, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Demi Lovato.
It's like, Taylor, all of your songs about your fucking exes. Come on.
Well, I mean, like we were talking about it. We went to a brewery before we started recording the podcast, and we were
How
talking
many people
about,
like that are like our age that were artists?
Like we've done Remy Wolf on the pod. We covered a Lord album, and I was just kind of wondering, because they're all about our age.
Sure.
We're right around that 30 mark, and it's like this came out when we were babies, but like you said, in 03, you heard it in the closing track of a movie. Yeah. And you were like, pretty good.
Hey, fool.
So I didn't give this a crazy high score. Like I said, I gave this just a 7.6. Out of all the singles, I can definitely see, like I said, I respect the hell out of it. I can definitely see why this is such, I mean, it's iconic. This is definitely like one of the best tracks. Yeah. It just wasn't the best for me, which I actually gave the following track, which we're going to get into, guys. I gave this track a higher score, I want to say. Let me scroll down here in my notes. Yeah, gave it a higher score. So we got track 3 coming in at 3 minutes, 8 seconds. We have Perfect. So I really enjoyed this one. This is something I never heard of until like doing the first listen to the album in its entirety for the preparation in the podcast. So funny little side note, song title, sometimes I see one and I'm like, oh, it's going to sound like this song. So for this one, I kept thinking of fucking Smashing Pumpkins, Perfect. Next time will be perfect. It's like, yeah, Billy Corgan is going to channel Alanis Morissette. But anyways, during her live shows, Morissette dedicated the song to all Catholic schoolgirls out there, having been one herself for several years. When asked if Catholicism can ruin a girl's self-esteem, Morissette told Q Magazine, "It can ruin a lot of a girl. Organized religion makes not only women, but people generally feel guilty about things they're revealing in. You're supposed to make mistakes in order to figure things out. The whole concept of sin and good in heaven and hell the whole concept of sin, good in heaven and hell is so strangely black and white, it's hard for anyone to be human within it." Then I have another thing here from an interview with CBC Music. Producer Glenn Ballard recalled writing, like just the recording session. There was so much nonverbal intention in her vocals. You can hear there's the cry and the sound of her voice. What is that emotion, you know? And what are the words that go with it? And somehow she was able to do it. I mean, it was just an extraordinary thing to witness. And I was sort of hearing her do it as I'm making these tracks, and we're kicking stuff back and forth with the music, but she's just writing furiously, and then singing some, writing some, singing, writing, singing. It was great. Sitting on the floor. She never was sitting in a chair. And I just picture like little 19, 20-year-old Alanis Morissette, because that's about how old she was. She might have been 20, 21. But anyways, in her late teen, early 20 years, just being hyped up, never would sit in a chair. And
Sure.
Glenn Ballard just being older and being like, woman, you need to sit down. So he continued to add on to that quote. People think she was in this heavy state of mind when making it. The opposite was true. I've never been funnier. She laughed at everything I had to say. She was just in a place of wanting fun and laughter, and she was making me laugh so hard that I couldn't even sit up. Honestly, it was that fun. So from those two quotes from Glenn Ballard and Alanis herself, I think that's kind of where my love for this song kind of comes from. The vocals kind of pick at my heart, and they kind of strum at it. Alanis' writing and choice of lyrics makes the song so perfect. Not a play on words there, but I could quote some. I'm gonna quote some of the verses, but honestly, I think I could kind of quote the whole song. It's kind of short in its lyrics too, so there's not a lot of meat on the bone. But the whole song is great. So we have "Be a Good Boy," "Try a Little Harder," "You've Got to Measure Up," "Make Me Prouder," "How Long Before You Screw It Up," "How Many Times Do I Have to Tell You to Hurry Up," "With Everything I Do for You, the least you can do is keep quiet." It's just nice. I mean, it's nice. The way she pulls off her pronunciations is really good on this too, which is kind of a going theme off the first three tracks and throughout the whole album. I wrote that note pretty early on. This was a hidden gem to me. I might be a little high on this one, but I was kind of disappointed that this wasn't a single, because I feel like a lot of people can relate to her lyrics. I give this a pretty decently high score. I give this an 8.1. Like I said, this is one of the more hidden gems on the track, or on the album for me.
Okay. So, you know, I'm gonna say what I was gonna say. We'll get to it whenever it comes up, because there's another song where it comes up even more, the whole Catholicism thing.
You keep your secrets.
I will for about another 4 songs. Again, this is another softer opening with some guitar, some light tapping of the cymbals, or maybe a maraca. I can't really tell. Alanis singing very softly and delicately. It's really pleasant on the ears, but lyrically, it's kind of bad. Like, you're being talked down to, for sure. Sometimes it's never quite enough. If you're flawless,
Never quite enough,
then you'll win my love. Don't forget to win first place. Don't forget to keep that smile on your face.
I feel like that's Catholicism, though. Like, I didn't grow up Catholic, but I've heard a lot of people that were Catholic. It's like, yeah, you're never good enough.
Yeah. There's another song later on that's like pretty. Oh, it's Forgiven. Yeah.
It's like, did the nuns hate you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did.
The intro, similar to the last one, does gradually build, and again, it escalates. 1 minute in, the guitar and the drums come in more, and Alanis becomes more pronounced with her delivery, going between a serene sound and then also kind of biting. With everything I do for you, the least you could do is keep quiet. Meant to be seen, not heard, that sort of thing. Around the 2 minute mark, the bridge hits and the vocals become even more shouty, with the music really picking up before both quiet down as the song starts to wind down. The song goes by really quick. Aside from a pop or two, it doesn't really do too much to stray from the path. But I feel like that's kind of the point, with it being softer and
Yeah, it's pretty modest. There's not a whole lot.
It's softer,
There's
but
no fireworks in this one.
But it has an underlying bite to it. I feel. You say you gave it a 8.1?
Yeah, I was pretty high on it.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't expect you to be.
No.
No, you're 6.1.
6.4.
Okay.
So, and yeah, it's good, but It's not making my life.
And that'll be the end of the podcast for this week. I'm just kidding.
That'll be the end of the podcast.
No, that one, I liked it a lot just because it is very negative, but I thought it was very well written.
Respect. On to track number 4. We have another single. We have Hand in My Pockets, coming in at 3 minutes and 41 seconds. There's like a muffled beat. Real quick. Let me stop real quick. I'm going to take it from the top, but I do remember listening to this song whenever I was playing. It was the 2018 Spider-Man game that came out. And like, I know you're not like a big, superhero fucking guy, whatever. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah. Different types of meats. Same sauce.
Same sauce.
But I remember like swinging around the city and I was like listening to this and it's like, yeah, everything's gonna be fine. I'm just like, yeah, all right, swing. Okay. Like I was feeling it.
Yeah, your spidey senses were tingling, huh?
That game rules.
All right. I remember watching you play it. I've literally contemplated on getting that game because I remember, even if you just like, because it's open world.
Yeah. Do your own thing. Fuck around. Swing around. Just, I don't know, go find
just
the tallest.
Swinging.
Find the tallest point on the fucking map and just go chill up there for a little bit. Look out over everything and jump off.
Where's Mary Jane at?
Exactly.
I want to have an unedited scene.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, there's a muffled drum beat. Some electric guitar like starts to warble to open the track. Alanis comes in. I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind. I'm lost, but I'm hopeful. Baby. I really like that delivery of baby. It's pretty.
I wish she was talking to me.
And what it all comes down to is that everything's gonna be fine. I really like how high-pitched and dramatic the delivery of Alanis, like specifically baby and fine. The guitar, bass, and beat starts to pick up more as the song goes on. As well as a little section of some harmonica, and there's even like some subtle keys sprinkled in there just a little bit. Yeah, hold that up to me, boy. I tell you what. Yeah, there's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
No, you're fine. Because I've got one hand in my pocket and the other one's flicking a cigarette. I remember talking to a buddy of mine one time, and I was like, this song came up, and I was like, oh yeah, the other one's flicking a cigarette, and he's like, to me, I was always like, and the other one's throwing a peace sign, and I'm like, cigarettes were taboo, I'll tell you what.
I'd smoke a cigarette with Alanis Morissette.
Oh, fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
With some bourbon breath.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'll fucking put a whole pack in my mouth and the bits with Alanis.
It's like, which one you want?
Yeah.
You can have the lucky. I'm gonna smoke all these. You have the lucky.
At 2:15, the song like shifts down to its initial quietness before popping off again and getting back to its like upbeat sound. The last like 30 or so seconds of the music, the music winds down, and we get a little more harmonica to close out the song. I don't have a ton of notes for this one, but it's a great song, and it's one of my favorites by her. But it is also like one of like the less like angry and like carefree tracks off the album, which is it's nice. It's a nice contrast. Yeah, I like the carefree nature to this. I gave it an 8.2.
Okay. So yeah, this was the album's second release single. The chorus of Hand in My Pocket uses a poetry technique, rhyme, juxtaposition. Did I get it? Did I get it right?
Sure. Okay.
No, I got it wrong. Anyways, it uses that in its primary lyrical structure, which mismatches the rhymes in each chorus with one that should be matched with. For example, and bear with me on this because I'm not an English professor, clearly. In the first chorus, fine is coupled with a high five when it should be paired with a peace sign. And that closes the third chorus. And then we have with a cigarette, which is clearly a rhyme with the end of the second chorus, out just yet. Morissette does not carry this scheme through the whole song. For instances, there's no rhymes for hailing a taxi cab or playing the piano. This is another song that is both, like, for me, perfectly written, excellent, with Alanis and Glenn Ballard, like, at the helm. I feel drunk, but I'm sober. I'm young and I'm underpaid. I'm tired, but I'm working, yeah. I care, but I'm restless. I'm here, but I'm really gone. I'm wrong, and I'm sorry, baby. So the lyrics are so relatable, and it's crazy that she was 21 at the time of this album's release, and even younger at the time, like writing it, because she just seems so like wise beyond her years at this part. So I saw a live version years ago where Alanis like bust out the harmonica during the solo, and again it's just incredible. Like I know she's the one playing the harmonica through the album entirety, but just that live version of her doing it, it was just so nice to like just see her just bust out the harmonica. I'm a sucker for a harmonica solo, like her and Neil Young. There's a couple of Neil Young tracks where he busts out the harmonica, and I'm just like, that's really nice. The song also features guitar, keyboard, and a bass guitar, most of which were played by the producer Glenn Ballard, which I thought was a pretty nice touch too. Like just knowing that he played a very big role in like working with Alanis during the production of the album. So this is probably like my first or second favorite track off the album, and probably like out of my whole like knowledge of her catalog, I give this a pretty good high score. I usually don't give a lot of 8s out, but I give this an 8.5. Hand in My Pocket is like one of my favorites. And that will move us on to track number 5, Right Through You, coming in at 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Features a nice guitar on the intro, with vocals starting like right in the first 10 seconds. It's a little different angle here with Alanis' writing. It's a little more open, not as angry or as aggressive as some of the previous tracks. With this track a little more reserved with the explanation on how powerful men treat like a lot of women in the music industry, and I'm sure that still goes on. Me and you were kind of talking about it before the pod, about how like she was kind of rejected by multiple recording agencies, labels, whatever you want to call it. So we get the verse, "Wait a minute, man, you mispronounced my name. You didn't wait for all the information before you turned me away." And I'm sure this is like every song on the album it's pretty personal. She definitely probably faced some rejection, like me and you were talking about off mic, before she was really established. And I feel like this was like the groundbreaking album for sure. Her and Glenn Ballard working on this together, like he definitely, I don't want to say he elevated her, because I think she would have got there on her own, but like they make a really good team together, and I feel like he didn't take advantage of her at all. And then there's another verse, "Oh, hello, Mr. Man. You didn't think I'd come back. You didn't think I'd show up with my army and this ammunition on my back. Now that I'm missing, now that I'm a zillionaire, you scan the credits for your name and wonder why it's not there." It's a solid track, and it gets the point across pretty easy, but it's very clever in its writing. That last delivery there on "you scan the credits for your name and wonder why it's not there," I really like that, and that's just like putting the nail in the coffin, more or less. So this is the shortest track on the album, but it's not by much. And I don't have a lot for it, but it's solid writing. Music was pretty simple, nothing too crazy, but it didn't need to be anything too crazy. It didn't need to, like, elaborate and get super fancy. It's fine just the way it is. I gave this, it's knocking on the door of a 7+, but honestly, there's not a lot for me to relate. I gave this just a 6.9, but it's right there.
Okay, we're close. Soft acoustic opening, followed immediately by Alanis' vocals. "Wait a minute, man, mispronounced my name."
That's actually pretty good.
I probably shouldn't find that funny, but I do just a little bit. Alanis. This is the only Alanis I know. You know what I mean? I don't know any other Alanis. So, also I kind of realized that Alanis kind of resembles a chick I used to work with back in the day, named Millie. Similar. Millie was blonde, but facially,
oh, they look the same.
Very similar. Yeah. The drums and the electric guitar start picking up before really popping at the drop of the chorus 30 seconds in. "I see right through you. I know right through you. I feel right through you." And she's belting it out there. I can definitely hear some of the post-grunge in some of the instrumentation and breakdowns in the song. It's very 90s. Alanis becomes more biting on the second verse. "Your shake is like a fish. You pat me on the head. You took me to wine, dine, 69 me, but didn't hear a damn word I said." And on the third verse, her delivery is kind of tongue-in-cheek and patronizing. "Hello, Mr. Man. as the electric guitar swirls before the music drops back in for the final chorus before coming to an abrupt stop. This is definitely more in line with songs like You Oughta Know. Some guy whose bullshit she has just had enough of, or has seen their bullshit elsewhere and is just calling it like off rip, like, no, I fucking see right through you. You're not doing this. I gave this a 6.7, so we're close.
Okay.
On to track number 6, Forgiven. This song caught me off guard with its opening, being just this deep drum beating every other second or so.
Excuse me.
And some kind of like distant electric guitar, and some that, like, I don't know, it's some guitar, some distant electric guitar, and some that sound very clear and close. Alanis singing soft before this deep tone hits by what sounds like some piano keys, but I can't say for certain. This is the song that I thought had like the opening had an almost Alice in Chains-esque vibe to it. Before we go any further, this song is about Catholicism, and I thought you might find it funny that Alanis Morissette did play God in a movie.
Yeah.
Dogma.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's her.
Yeah.
Can't listen to her talk, though. It'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta plug your ears.
You know, us Catholic girls can be... You know how us Catholic girls can be. We make up so much time a little too late. When looking into the lyrics of this song, it became abundantly clear the song is a scathing look at Catholicism, as that's how Alanis was raised. 42 seconds in, the music picks up. The sinners, the saviors, the loveless priest. I'll see you next Sunday. Alanis starts belting it out on the chorus. We all had our reasons to be there. We all had a thing or two to learn. I noticed some like plucky strings on the chorus as well that kind of stood out. On the second verse, it goes softer initially. I sang Alleluia in the choir. Alleluia, Alleluia, Alleluia. I like the backing vocals on this part, giving it a choir sound. The song hits its peak around the 3-minute mark on the bridge before shifting softer and then picking back up for the final chorus. Yeah, for the final chorus, the last 20 seconds of the song winds down. I appreciate this song is like it was about something other than just a guy that Alanis was fed up with. It felt like it was a little bit more larger in its scope and a little bit more grand, tackling things of like religion and faith. It's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Like right on. I give this I don't think this will make my like songs, but I gave it a flat 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just a little lower than you on this one. I thought it was a solid song again. This was a little more meh for me compared to like some of the other tracks personally. It's not terrible by any means. Like I didn't find any tracks on this whole album to be like I'm gonna skip this in the future or whatever. I would definitely listen to this track by track in its entirety. So it's a solid track musically, very alternative 90s rock. It's another very personal song, and the writing is deep. The opening verse, you know how us Catholic girls can be. We make up for so much time a little too late. I never forget it, confusing as it was, no fun, with no guilt feelings. The sinners, the saviors, the loveless priest. I'll see you next Sunday. The chorus itself, too, is pretty solid with her vocal work. It's excellent. We all had our reasons to be there. We all had a thing or two to learn. We all needed something to cling to, so we did. The chorus for me was probably like the saving grace throughout the whole track that kind of bumped it up a little bit. Like I said, I wasn't super crazy. My favorite verse and the one that like held the most for me was my brothers. They never went blind for what they did, but I may as well have. And I like that. In the name of the Father, the skeptic, and the Son, I had one more stupid question. Overall, it's not a bad track, and I agree with like a lot what you were saying. It's got a lot wider scope than like a lot of her previous tracks on the album. But this was one that just kind of I wouldn't say it let me down, but it was just a little less than what I was accustomed to so far. Not bad at all. I overall score, it's reflected. Like I said, I wasn't crazy about it. I gave this a 6.7.
Okay.
And that will move us on to track number 7, You Learn, coming in at a flat 4 minutes is what I have the runtime pegged at. So I read on a few websites, but I couldn't find any real evidence, and I elaborated on this a little bit in the intro, so take it for what it's worth. So during her stay in Los Angeles, during the recording of You Learn and many other parts of Jagged Little Pill, Alanis was robbed on an empty street by a man with a gun, after which she developed intense general anxiety and suffered daily panic attacks. Like I said, take this for what it's worth. I couldn't find a lot that backed this up. Her house was robbed in like 2017 or 2007, and like they stole a lot of stuff out of her house, but this was one where she was actually robbed on the street. But I couldn't really find a whole lot of information, but the articles that I did find say she was hospitalized and attended like psychotherapy sessions. And they didn't really seem to help anyways. In interviews, she kind of said that she focused like more of her problems, the stuff that comes with this, the bottled up anxiety, whatever you want to call it. She kind of put this into the album, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Knowing that. And according to her, Ballard was the first collaborator who encouraged her to express like said emotions from that incident. So I like this one a lot. It was a nice bounce back from the previous tracks and even the last two like mad tracks for me. This one carries quite a bit more energy, and that could be a lot of like the reason why I kind of liked it a bit more. The name dropping of the album was a nice touch here, where we get the Jagged Little Pill. It's a very like uplifting track and very truthful. It's another like personal from the heart track for me, which a lot of these tracks on here you can definitely tell like she wrote them herself, like kind of coming from her heart. The opening verse followed up with the pre-chorus. I recommend getting your heart trampled on to anyone, yeah. Oh, I recommend walking around naked in your living room, yeah. And the pre-chorus, swallow it down, what a jagged little pill. It feels so good swimming in your stomach. Wait until the dust settles. The music cites into the main chorus. You live, you learn, and that's repeated multiple times. You bleed, you learn. It changes subtly, but it's very nice. It's very 90s-tastic, and it screams girl powered. But as a 30-year-old dude, it's honest truth. Like I definitely can relate to the lyrics of what she's saying. And a lot of these tracks, I feel like they're very girl power-esque. But I like them, and they're relatable, like I said, even as a 30-year-old dude. I like it a lot, and like I said, it's a nice bounce back from the previous two tracks. I gave this a 7.2.
Okay. We're close. Close enough, anyways. So, the song opens with a drum beat, similar to a number of other songs off the album. But this one, for whatever reason, comes off as slightly more popular. Popular. The bass guitar beneath the drum beat is particularly funky. The verse is about a little more, I don't know, it's a little more reserved musically. I recommend getting your heart trampled on by anyone. The guitars come in and start to swell on the pre-chorus. Swallow it down. What a jagged little pill. Album name drop. Alanis belts out the final line before the final line of the pre-chorus. Wait until the desayos. I like the way she carries that out. Chorus hits. You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn. At 2:18, there is some instrumental break with a good amount of vocalization from Alanis before getting into the final pre-chorus. I really like the line, the fire trucks are coming up around the bend. I really like that. Just very nice delivery. And then the final chorus becomes kind of an extended... It kind of becomes extended into the outro. The song wears its meaning on its sleeve. Live your life, make mistakes, you'll learn, and life will go on. And to me, it almost came off as like kind of celebratory. It's like I'm not directly angry at anyone. It's just like fuck it, man. Like,
I'm learning.
Yeah.
As I go.
Yeah, learn as you go.
Do not repeat.
I give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, we are pretty close.
So on to track number 8, we have Head Over Feet. It's a single, coming in at 4 minutes and 25 seconds. The guitar and vocals right out the gate. There's also some ethereal sound in the background. 17 seconds in, the bass guitar hits, leading into the beat coming in. You treat me like a princess. I'm not used to liking that, and she does liking that. You ask me how my day was, and it transitions right into the chorus. You've already won me over, in spite of me. Don't be alarmed if I fall, head over feet. The beat mixed with the electric guitar riffs and drums, it's a little heavy musically, if nothing else, at least compared to the choir movements on the song. At the 2-minute mark until 2:23, there is an instrumental breakdown with the inclusion of some harmonica. You are the bearer of unconditional things. You held your breath and the door for me. Thanks for your patience. At 3:54, the harmonica comes back along with some vocalization and one more. I couldn't help it, it's all your fault. The song actually feels kind of nice, like it came from a positive experience, and I kind of love to see that, just going off of what she's experienced on the album up until this point. And there's something about like her delivery of "You've already won me over"
with the music too behind it, backing it up. It's very upbeat,
and it's like it's alluring. It's like, oh, what's that? I've already won you over. Tell me about that.
Tell me about that.
It has a really good flow to it, kind of like Jagged Little Pill. It's like, oh, you've already won me over. I like it. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I'm a little higher on this. This was one of my favorites. So yeah, the vocals start pronto, like with a nice drum beat via the drum machine, similar to what you were saying. And the chorus comes pretty early as well. This is a solid track, and it's really the first positive love song, or at least positive relationship vibe song that we get. And I think she did a hell of a job capturing those emotions with her writing. It's another solid performance from Alanis again on the harmonica. We get a nice harmonica showcase around the 2-minute mark. The song features another neat little grammar fact, and like I said, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm not an English professor. It contains let me see how to pronounce it here. Azugma, as it will be said, which what that is it kind of uses a word to modify or govern two words that usually are used in such a manner that they apply to a different sense or make sense with only one. So anyways, on the verse where she says, you held your breath and the door for me, that is the example. You held your breath and the door for me, instead of saying like you held your breath and you held the door for me. She kind of combines those two together, and that's what creates that, which I thought was a neat little tidbit. I actually showed you the video the other day. One for me.
Yep.
I just fucking cracked my cores open.
I popped it in the fridge.
Oh, no, it's fine.
All right.
Don't open mine yet, though.
All right.
I'll finish with that. Anyways, so yeah, the chorus on this track is phenomenal. And this is kind of a toss-up between my favorite or second favorite on the album because of its effortless flow. You've already won me over in spite of me. Don't be alarmed if I fall. Head over feet. Don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. It's another track that screams girl power. I think mostly because it's coming from a woman. But it's something that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. Because when you get in a relationship, especially at the cusp, you kind of have those like just everything feels good, everything's good, and it's just like, yeah, I'm head over feet. It's very relatable, and it's a solid track, and I think it's worthy of my really high score here. I gave this an 8.9. This is probably my favorite Alanis Morissette. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at Shane right now, and he's like, ah!
No, I mean, that's cool.
No,
it's like, I mean, like, honestly, there's a lot of hits on this, so pick your poison.
Yeah, exactly. Respectable. I'm glad you said that. And speaking of pick your poison, we're going to move on to track number 9, Mary Jane. I had the runtime as 4 minutes, 41 seconds. So this was kind of another hidden gem for me and my ears, as I really appreciated the overall message of the track. It's another solid showcase of Alanis' vocals and her writing, mixed with Glenn Ballard, because, like I said, they kind of worked hand in hand on this. So I have a quote here. This is a song about a woman who is losing her spirit, with Morissette encouraging her to be selfish and open up about her problems. In an interview with Spotify, Alanis said, "It was my empathy for the feminine, the vulnerable, the self-care, particularly those of us who are service-oriented, and generous. It was influenced by a friend of mine. Just watching how sweet she was to me and to everybody, and then how she would go home at night and be really depleted, just drained of her energy. In my case, I would go home and be really depressed. So I thought something needed to be said about self-care, needing to be upped. And the empathy, being in contact with so many narcissistic people, the two qualities that disappear are curiosity about well-being, even just how are you doing, and empathy. So that this song was my way of turning it around and singing to myself in a lot of ways. I would often listen, and this is from Alanis herself. I would often listen to this song on tour and pretend the woman singing it. There was a woman singing it to me, which I kind of really like that. I like that vibe that she kind of created with her own music, kind of just someone singing it to her to kind of, gain her composure. I thought the track really flowed. It flowed good for almost like a 5-minute runtime. It fills the cracks and gaps really well, and it never really got stale to me. It tells such a story, and one that I enjoyed listening to. It kind of gives almost like a folksy vibe to me. It's not as rock and roll, despite featuring a keyboard, a piano and a keyboard, guitar, bass, and guitar, and pretty active percussion. I found the verse, "I hear you counting sheep again, Mary Jane. What's the point of trying to dream anymore? I hear you're losing weight again, Mary Jane. Do you ever wonder why, or wonder who you're losing it for?" I thought that was a pretty powerful verse. And again, it's a very empowering track to women. But I like it. And, I mean, women are nurturers by nature. So I can see where it comes off that way. I feel like I'm a little low, but a little high as well with a 7.3. This isn't something I jam out to or really like show it to a lot of people, but I really did like the writing. And the message that's paired with it is really nice. And with the quote I read and just Alanis's like mindset going into the track, I really like it. So I'm going to stick with my 7.3.
Okay.
Am I higher than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I think I just liked with some of the quotes I read with her writing, I'm like,
I feel like if I would have researched it more.
Yeah. Once you like see it from her eyes, you're like, for me anyways, once I kind of saw her quote and I'm like, okay, that explains it a little bit more.
You see it like more as just like more than just an album that was like, oh, here's the album. Yeah. It's like, no. There was like thought.
Let me tell you what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So I got the electric guitar and the vocals have a very like surrounding echo nature to them, almost like they're being sung in an auditorium. This continues as the remaining instruments come in. For a second, it kind of reminds me of "Song to the Siren," like the cover by Wolf Alice specifically. "What's the matter, Mary Jane? Had a hard day." As you place the "Don't Disturb" sign on the door, you lost your place in the line. You lost your place in line again. What a pity. You never seem to want to dance anymore. Elena starts to belt it out in the chorus. It's a long way down on this roller coaster. She delivers the word coaster with like a bit of a hard R. If you've heard the song, like you know what I mean. She just puts a little stank on it. Coming off the chorus, the instruments start to build up, leading to the next chorus. Alanis shows some pretty impressive vocal work on the "In the Wrong Direction." It's like in the wrong direction, even though I can't come close to hitting when she hits. The music swells, and Alanis's vocals hit their peak around 2:30. Keep Dry. Keep Dry. It's also brilliantly sung. I'm like more impressed with like key moments from the song more than I am the actual song as a whole. While I'm not crazy about it, it earns its spot on the album for sure. I gave this a 6.3.
Nice. And real quick, I did want to interrupt and plug your episode of covers.
Yeah.
We did actually cover the Song of the Siren by Wolf Alice. So
we did.
I wanted to throw that in there and make sure that people know.
That's right. Check it out.
Check that out. Because
Damn
it's one of the ones it's not really attached to an album. It's just like our covers. I did an episode of covers and Shane did an episode of covers.
But we also did an episode of Wolf Alice.
Yeah,
so,
we did. Yeah.
I mean, it ties
Wolf
in.
Alice is pretty good.
There's plenty of stuff from us to check out. So consider it.
Take a look at the channel.
Check us out.
That's all we're asking.
We're worth it.
Especially if you're here at around the 56-minute mark. This might be trimmed down a little bit, but
we'll speed it up a little. On to track number 10, we have Ironic. It is also a single, coming in at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. The acoustic guitar and soft vocals open the song. The softer openings are pretty common on this album, but it fits. Alanis will ease you into a song gently before hitting you with some of her like powerful vocals and the post-grunge. Damn, I'm drunk as shit. Like, what the fuck?
Some grunge.
I mean, I'm trying to go after some grunge. All right, for some post-grunge.
Some eggs and heroin. I'm sorry.
Sounds delicious, honestly. Fuck yeah. Some post-grunge instrumentation. The first verse is short and gets you right into the chorus. An old man turned 98. He won the lottery, died the next day. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? The drums track and Alanis belts it out. It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. The bridge gets kind of spacey with some soft, ethereal vocals that sound like, I don't know, they sound like some effects have been added. Life has a funny way of sneaking up on you when you think everything's okay and everything's going right. But at the same time, it's like, it could also be like her natural vocals. And she is quite talented. I don't want to sell her short on her talents. I mean, fuck, if Alanis Morissette hears this, she could fucking write a diss on me, and I don't want that.
Yeah, it's like, please, actually, no, please diss me.
You say Almala in your reviews, boy.
That'd be the greatest thing if Alanis Morissette on YouTube just commented on this.
Do us some favors. Yeah.
It's like, tell me how big of a piece of shit I am.
Yeah, roast me. It's like, I'll tell you how big my dick is, all right?
Your podcast was like, pay
on my ear
on my fucking ears.
So, yeah, I like the music on this. On the third verse, and I don't know, the pretty chorus as they're stripped back, and Alanis has more spoken word delivery. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. It's meeting the man of my dreams and then meeting his beautiful wife. The final chorus raps and the song winds down for the last 30 or so seconds. The song is another classic of hers. This album is pretty
it's loaded,
stacked with her hits. The writing on this song is pretty fun. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's relatable. And just overall, it sounds great when you listen to it. I gave it an 8.3.
Okay. I'm scrolling. Yeah, I'm a little lower than you on this one, but I respect your score 100%. So, this is top tier writing on this track. It's phenomenal. So growing up, my dad had a 1997 Grammy Grammy nominee CD, rather. And I remember Ironic being on it, and I had to actually check and confirm. But yes, Ironic was on the 1997 Grammy CD for Record of the Year, even though this album came out in 1995. Anyways, Alanis did lose to Eric Clapton, but anyways, as noted in the intro, she won many awards for this album. So I've always really liked the verse, Mr. Play It Safe was afraid to fly. He packed his suitcase and kissed his kids goodbye. He waited his whole damn life to take that flight. And as the plane crashed down, he thought,
Isn't
well,
this
isn't
nice?
that nice? And isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Don't you think? So her writing alongside Glenn Ballard is just iconic. And her delivery of a lot of her lyrics is just flawless on this. But this song kind of came in question because of the usage of the word ironic. It attracted some media attention because it's kind of used incorrectly. And again, this is one of the only episodes where I've dived into the grammar. And anyways, I mentioned Oxford English Dictionary here. Irony is a state of affairs or an event that seems deliberately contrary to which was or might be expected. An outcome cruelly, humorously, or strangely at odds with assumptions or expectations. So, anyways, the lyrics like it's a free ride when you've already paid, and a traffic jam when you're already late. That's not ironic at all. But it flows with the message of the song. And in 2014, my boy, a fellow Michael Reed Roberts, he kind of wrote like a defense to the song for Salon, saying that it cites more of a situational irony, which I agree with 100%. I think that's why the writing seems so, I don't know, it kind of lies more with the situational irony, and I feel like a lot of, whoever was criticizing it, I mean, I've never criticized it, I just wanted to point this out, that people were criticizing it. I've always kind of thought it was more of the situational ironies. Jesus, that really is a little tongue twister there. Anyways, situational ironies are the state of affairs or events that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often really amusing and as a result. So I think that kind of fits more of the message of the song. I think we are both a little buzzed, I'm not going to lie. A little too much drinky on the potty. Anyways, it's 100% right. If you're still here, God bless you. For me, I've never really put that much thought into the track, and I've always kind of just appreciated it for what it is. And it's a solid listen, and it creates such a vibe. During multiple listens of the album, I'd be walking around work. There was like at least 2 times that I can think of where I would just be singing in my freaking factory, my smoke-filled factory. It's like, rain on your wedding day. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's a great song, and it's really relatable, because who hasn't had something just like pop up out of the blue and kind of just bite you in the ass regardless of how big or how little it is. It's like, wow, the situational irony here is real. And I think this song really ties into it. And if you're a human, I think that's the beauty of her writing, is it's so like, even though, like I said, a lot of it is girl power, it's understandable and it's relatable. And on that note, I didn't give this as high a score as you, but I'm pretty close to you. I give this a 7.8. And that will take us. I'm sorry, Arthur, I did not mean this. I kicked the cat. I didn't mean to.
Oh boy.
Number 11, Not the Doctor. Which I'm not the doctor, clearly, because I'm out here. I'm not the vet either, because I'm kicking cats.
Yeah, it'd be a shame to me, too.
I mean, I didn't kick him, but I just gave him a little nudge. I didn't mean to. We have track number 11, Not the Doctor, coming in at 3 minutes, 48 seconds. So I thought this was a pretty unique strumming guitar sound on the intro. And I also thought Alanis sounded a little different. Still the same solid voice and solid vocals, but a little bit more clear. Maybe it's just because the music is... The instrumentation is a little bit more in the background, so we kind of get more of her vocals up front for at least the first 54 seconds is what I clocked at, before her vocals really peak with the verse. Visiting hours are 9 to 5, and if you show up at 10 past 6, well, I already know that you'd find some way to sneak me in. And the track is not a shocker. This track is not a shocker at all, with more of a solid writing. With more solid writing, like we've come to know throughout the album. We also have a verse, I don't want to be the glue that holds your pieces together. I don't want to be your idol. See, this pedestal is high, and I'm afraid of heights.
I'm pretty sure it's me. I'm in. For Wake Up?
No, not the doctor.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, I'm pretty
My
sure
bad,
it's me.
my bad.
I was like, did I fuck up the lyrics here? Anyways.
Damn, I had a light beer too. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, I had the 6.0. You had like the 4 something.
I had a 4.3.
It's because I'm thick, boy.
Shit.
Anyways. So yeah, that lyrical line, I don't want to be the glue that holds your pieces together. I don't want to be your idol. See, this pedestal is high, and I'm afraid of heights. I don't want to be lived through. So this is still a great track, and it was an easy listen. As every song on this, this whole album was an easy listen. But this one didn't really appeal to me like a lot of the other tracks. So I'm just gonna give it a modest 6.9. The chorus held a lot of energy for me, and I can definitely get by with that, honestly. But just kind of,
Okay. So I got the acoustic quickly followed by the drum beat. I don't want to be the filler if the void is solely yours. I don't want to be your glass of single malt whiskey hidden in the bottom drawer. It's like, who hides a glass of whiskey in a drawer? A bottle makes sense, but whatever. I don't want to be your mother. I didn't carry you in my womb for 9 months. 54 seconds in, the chorus hits with some distinct electric guitar hitting as Alanis's vocals become more pronounced. Mind the empty bottle with the holes along the bottom. You see, it's too much to ask for, and I am not the doctor. With some distant echo vocals ending the chorus. I like the lines, I don't want to live on someday when my motto is last week. I don't want to be responsible for your fractured heart and its wounded beat. Also, the way she quickly says beat and hurries on to the next line is, I don't know, I like that. Solid song that doesn't stray too far from the verse, the chorus structure. One of the songs that I hadn't heard before, but I actually found myself enjoying quite a bit. I gave this a 7.1 out of 10. On to track number 12. We have Wake Up, coming in at 4 minutes and 53 seconds. The song has an almost ominous tone to it. It's guitar, and it's quiet, there's some tisking to it. It maintains this tone when the vocals and drum beat starts to come in. It honestly kind of reminds me a little bit of Evanescence. Just a little bit. There is a dire energy to Alanis's vocals. I really like the way Alanis drags out her line and the stringed instrument coming in whenever she sings. There's no sentimental value to the rose that fell on your floor. There's no fundamental excuse for the granted I'm taken for. The chorus, the drums become more pronounced, and the bass guitar comes in and stays throughout the track. Because it's easy not to. So much easier not to. And what goes around never comes around to you. To you. The second chorus has to you repeated, becoming louder and more yelled each time. At 6:13, there is this repeating sound that sounds like it's coming from an accordion, almost. It repeats a few times before, it just, I don't know. It repeats a few times, and then it just doesn't come back. It's an interesting inclusion. At 4 minutes and 12 seconds, the get up off it, the outro ends, and way up, clearly spoken with no instrumental. Another surprise song. It's very dramatic and kind of theatrical. Probably not going to be one of my go-to songs when I think of Alanis Morissette. But it's a bit of a... I thought this was a bit of a sleeper hit. I give it a 7.3 out of 10.
Okay. I'm a little below you, but not by much. So, I kind of consider this more of the closing track, just because
Sure.
The track closes with track number 13, which is...
Obvious reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for pointing that out. But I like this one, and that's kind of been like a running theme. I've liked the whole album. There was like a little bit of a doubling of Alanis' vocals, which I thought was a nice touch on this one as well. And then we have a verse, because it's easy not to, it's much easier not to. So, and what goes around never comes around to you. To you, to you, to you, to you, to you. So I really like that. And I like that how her vocals kind of like really deliver. It's so smooth, and it holds tempo until the deliveries of you, where it kind of like mashes up a little bit. It's another powerful song with the backing message of just being like a confrontational plea for a complacent partner or a person to stop avoiding life's challenges and get out of their comfort zone and experience things more authentically, urging them to kind of like move beyond self-pity and take action for more of a fulfilling experience. The song really serves as like a final direct command to someone stuck in a boring, risk-avoiding routine, telling them to get up off of it. It's a perfect send-out for the album. Like I said, I kind of consider this more the last track. It's a little lower for me as a score compared to the previous track. But it's a solid listen. Like I said, it's a pretty good closer. I gave this just a 6.8. And that will move us to the real final track, even though I kind of consider the previous track more of the closer. We have track 13, You Oughta Know, the Jimmy the Saint blend, mashed with Your House, a cappella, which has a long runtime of 8 minutes and 13 seconds. And I will point out, me and Shane were two meats, different sauces here. I kind of split this up maybe a little different than Shane did. But bear with us. I kind of consider Your House to be more of a hidden track because of the spacing between the You Oughta Know, Jimmy the Saint blend versus the Your House a cappella version. So I didn't really elaborate a whole lot on the You Oughta Know, and I don't know if you did. We didn't really discuss this going into it. I'm just going to tell you guys kind of the key differences between You Oughta Know, the second track, and You Oughta Know, the Jimmy the Saint blend, and then I will get into my notes on Your House, the a cappella version. So the key differences between this version of You Oughta Know and track number 2 is the production and the sound, the mixing, and the availability. I'm still butchering that. Anyways, and there was a clean version of it too. So the blend is generally considered, this version, the Jimmy the Saint blend, is more considered to be heavier and with more of a crunch and intense, sinister bass line compared to the album version. This was mixed by Jimmy Boyle, not Chris Vogel, who mixed the album version. This was originally featured on the 1995 music video, and this version is frequently found on early promo CDs and often played by radio stations. So it's kind of more the common version. I think it's where me and you were talking kind of off mic. I think this is more the version that I'm more familiar with, just because it seems to be played by more of the just radio airplay. There also is a clean version, which edited out specific explicit lyrics, like, do you think of me when you fuck her? Yeah. That line right there, do you think of me when you fuck her? Yeah, it's very nice. Anyways, that's all I have for that. I gave this just a little slightly higher than the first version that we talked about, track number 2. I gave this a 7.4 because I could see where it's a little different, but it's the same track, so I can't really give it it's not apples to oranges. It's pretty much just apples, maybe a little better from the tree than the other apples. Same tree though. Anyways, I'm going to move on to Your House. So around 4:08, the music fades out, and it kind of made me wonder if, Your House is kind of a bonus track or a hidden track, whatever you want to say. Anyways, it's similar to the setup of how I found the bonus track on the album Nevermind by Nirvana. Your House fades in slowly around the 5:10 to 5:14-ish mark. But it's a track I think that really showcases her vocals, Alanis' vocals, because they are so isolated with the a cappella delivery. It's honestly, to me, the song It's kind of a little stalkerish. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'd be a little upset if my ex-girlfriend was just dancing in my shower and kind of just let herself in. That would be Katie. 100%.
Yeah.
She was a little creepy like that. Anyways, it's still a solid song, and the vocals are great. I honestly don't have a whole lot for this. I didn't put a lot of time into it just because it's like, it's kind of hidden in its own, and I was surprised I could actually find it by itself on Google because it is kind of more of the hidden track. Like, I've never looked for the hidden track on Nirvana's Nevermind album because I feel like it's not really sought after. It's not the gold mine. And this one, it fit fine. It fit the album, but I do think it is kind of an outlier. And like I said, I don't have a lot for it. I'm going to get you guys out of here on this one with my thoughts on it. It's not bad, but it's not great at the same time. I didn't give this a crazy high score. It's probably my lowest score out of everything on the album. I gave it a 6.6.
Okay.
But I do really like her a cappella vocals. Her vocals are phenomenal on it, but just the whole song and the fact that it's kind of hidden, it's like, for me, personally.
Track 13, we have You Oughta Know, the Jimmy the Saint blend. 8 minutes and 12 seconds. So initially, I wasn't sure if this was going to be something that we covered, with it just being You Oughta Know, but again, kind of like what we were talking about. When I initially listened to it, I couldn't really hear the difference. But the more I looked into it, it's like, oh, no. I hear it. It's the bass. The bass guitar is way more distinct.
Flea was on this track too.
Yeah.
I failed to mention that.
Way more prominent bass line. And it definitely changes the mood of the song to something a little bit more foreboding. The bass was, like you said, also played by Flea. So
By Flea.
Aside from that, my notes aren't much different just because, I mean...
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
Same apple from same tree.
I mean, I'll tell you all the same shit if you really want, but I mean, it's the same.
Just rewind to the second track.
Yeah, well, timestamp it. Major Departure comes at 4 minutes and 9 seconds. The song raps and goes quiet until 5:12 when Alanis comes back in with her vocals. This very much is that auditorium sound again. Very raw, very intimate, and echoing out, would you forgive me, love, if I danced in your shower? Would you forgive me, love, if I laid in your bed? Would you forgive me, love, if I stay all afternoon? I noticed a letter that sat on your desk. It said, hello, love. I love you so, love. Meet me at midnight. And no, it wasn't my writing. I better go soon. It wasn't my writing. And it serves as a nice display of her vocals without anything to like really mess
the
with it
acapella.
all.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Just let it out.
Very isolated.
This version of the song is interesting. The general difference musically and then the added bit at the end really makes it worth a listen. I give this a 7.8 out of 10.
Okay.
So, overall, you recommend the album? What did you think?
I definitely recommend the album. I liked it a lot. It's got a lot of bangers on it. I don't know what else she really had as far as singles after this, because I feel like the majority of the Alanis Morissette I know is off of this album.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's one of the most iconic albums that she's probably put out.
Thank You is a really nice song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check that out. That's off.
Yeah.
A little later.
Yeah. But she's still currently touring. Like I saw on Spotify. I didn't see where all she was stopping at. But yeah, overall I gave this I would give this probably a 7.3 to a 7.5. Like if I could see this in like a live performance by her in its entirety, that would be phenomenal. I couldn't imagine, especially her later on in her life. Like I think she's in her early 50s. Yeah, right now. So 30 years passed since this came out. I liked it a lot. I would consider buying a copy of this because it is so iconic.
I would like to buy her a dinner. It's like I know she's got more money than I'll fucking ever have, but I'm like,
funny story, when she was putting this out, and I didn't tag on the track, but there was a track where the organ is featured, and the organ is played by, as we both touched on, Flea was incorporated in the album.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, she has the organ player from Tom Petty and the
Okay.
Heartbreakers. I guess I should say from the Heartbreakers. He covered, well, he didn't cover, he filled the position. And Alanis being very young, not having a lot of money, this was probably her more successful album that paid dividends towards the end. She just bought him dinner. That was his payment for his part. He didn't want any money. He was just like, I'll do it for you.
Okay.
And then she took him out to dinner. So, yeah. That being said, it's kind of funny.
All right. I would like to take Alanis Morissette out to dinner just to be like, you're Alanis Morissette. Like, oh.
And it's like, no, Alex, you stay home.
Talk to me a little bit. What are you doing? Let's go to Radizio's. Let's go. Real nice. I mean, this album had a lot of bangers on it. Some of her best stuff, and she's great. I feel like she's worth. If you're gonna listen to '90s music,
90s female vocalist.
fuck yeah, listen to Alanis Morissette. She earns her spot amongst those you should listen to. Good pick for the album. On to the bonus track, we have You're So Cool by Jonathan Bree. And, I'll take this one. The song sets a very distinct tone with its, orchestral strings. It has a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern, followed by drums, deep bass, some synth. The vocals are very calm and cool, with a spaciness to them in the way that they drag out and carry. Body so fit, so full of spark, with affirmations as your wall art. The lyrics, they're almost poetic, just a little bit. I don't know if it's I don't think they necessarily top Alanis's per se, but it's something about the way his cool, calm delivery. His
delivery, yeah.
It makes you kind of
nice.
You lean in a little bit more. Tell me more.
I agree.
I want to hear more. At 58 seconds, more orchestral strings come in. And at 117, I looked into it a little bit. This is the Celeste chimes come in. I particularly like the line, while all hard-fought endeavors bring in diminished returns. You're so cool, it's true. There is a sense of longing in the delivery here that really stands out. And then also the line, most people are crushed into servitude, serving as the final lyrics of the song. At 3 minutes and 32 seconds until the end of the song, it's full instrumental. The electric guitar rings out, and it's accompanied by the other instruments really well. They all sound really well. They all sound very good together. My research showed a lot of people mentioning the bendy strings. I wonder, if the instrumental outro is kind of what they were referring to. No pun intended, but this is a cool little track. I stumbled upon it years ago, and I was just, I don't know shit else by it, but I like it. I give this a 7.7 out of 10.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, this is something to me that for being released in 2018, it's really got an old school techno sound to it, to me, both musically and lyrically. The instrumental structure and the vocal delivery both really give me kind of an old school sound. It really takes its time, with the runtime being just shy under 5 minutes. And there's not a lot of lyrics. If you Google the lyrics for this, there's not a lot to pick from, but it fills the gaps really well. And it takes its time before we get the name drop of the song, but it's well worth the wait, in my opinion. Before we get the delivery of "You're So Cool, It's True." The song really carries some energy, even though it's, like I said, it's pretty mellow and it doesn't get too crazy. Bree's vocals do kind of change pitch and bend with his pronunciations, and that's kind of very entertaining. He really drags out the delivery of "You're So Cool, It's True." You're so cool. It's true. You're my kind of girl. Keep you till the end. That is a lapse from 213 to 234. So a solid 20 seconds of that delivery line, which I gave you in like 5 seconds. He really bends that, stretches it, whatever you want to call it. And You're So Cool features like his signature orchestral pop sound with prominent strings, violins, cello. Is it Celeste?
Mm-hmm.
Celeste, drums, and synths. Blending real and virtual instruments, which is a common theme. Paired with his deep baritone vocals, and it kind of creates a cinematic, retro, modern feel, which I think is kind of what I was pulling on when it kind of sounds very old-timey, very retro-y. It said he often uses this technique, where he kind of uses virtual instruments for the early writings, kind of tuning it in, but then he also prefers recording with real strings, horns, guitar, and bass. Which makes sense because we were listening to some of his other stuff, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, it kind of creates that rich, sound and layers for his arrangements of his songs. I like this a lot. This is something that I never would have found on my own. 100%. There's no way. And that's kind of the beauty of the bonus track here on The Working Hour. A WHMS radio style podcast with Mike and Shane. Not that the bonus track is anything spectacular ever. Sometimes we just, I did Fly Like an Eagle, which is very well known. But this is something, I probably wouldn't have stumbled it on myself. And like you said, you kind of stumbled upon it randomly.
Yeah.
I didn't give it a crazy high score, but it's something I did like. And it's something that probably grew on me the more and more I listened to it. Especially we kind of listened to more of his other stuff off mic. With more of that to come. Wink, wink. I give this just not a crazy high score, but a pretty good score. I give this a 7.5.
Okay, we're close.
I did like it, yeah.
Nice. All right, well, with that being said, next week's album is actually going to be by Jonathan Bree. It is going to be the 2020 album After the Curtains Close. Do you have a bonus track, McDowell?
I do. We are going to be, for the bonus next week, it will be One More Night by Michael Kiwanuka.
Okay. I am adding it right now. Awesome. Anyway, everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, don't work too hard now.